Hey, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I mean, as you can see, I was like just chatting up with ChatGPT just to see whether it accepts my invitation to be a guest on ClariTea Chat or not. Thankfully, it accepted. Thankfully, it accepted. Okay. So, well, welcome all of you to the 24th edition of our exciting and engaging Ask Me Anything session, the AMA as we call it. And today we have a amazing virtual guest, ChatGPT, the AI language model that's making waves around the world in a brand new avatar. So let's welcome ChatGPT. Why can't I share? Okay, guys, give me a minute. I'm sharing my screen with all of you. Okay, so I'm welcoming ChatGPT on our session. Oh, see, it says, thank you. It's great to be here. How can I assist you or your guest today? Okay. Well, we'll come to that. We'll come to that. So, thank you for being here, ChatGPT. Now, but before we go ahead, this is the 86th episode of ClariTea Chat, and how time flies when we are genuinely contributing and engaging and having fun. So, thank you all for your continued support and engagement. We couldn't do this without your involvement. So, as always, the free flowing AMA session is an opportunity for us to directly interact, connect, and discuss some valuable insights. So last week we had a session on AI and ChatGPT, and we were genuinely overwhelmed with the response that we got, and the number of questions that we received. So when I was discussing with my team, how do we respond to those questions? A very interesting thought came that why not we ask the same questions to ChatGPT, and that's how we conceptualize this session of ClariTea Chat. So just to recall, in the previous session where I had Vijay Sethi and Vijay Balakrishnan with me, we explored what ChatGPT is, collectively what have been our personal experiences, and what is its potential for organizational integration, the risks and fears and the biases that it can have, how it can disrupt jobs, what kind of fears and insecurities it can generate, and its impact on industries and daily life. So if you missed this part, which was a collective wisdom from three of us, please do go and watch last week's ClariTea Chat episode. It's not necessary for you to watch it before you understand it. It's two different independent sessions, but still that was a really lively session with a ton of questions from the audience, which we just ran out of time, and that's what led to this session. So we continue these conversations, and we inspire you with innovative and creative responses about everything from the impact of AI on coding and software services to cybersecurity issues, the dangers of manipulation by organizations, and even the possibility of AI replacing humans. But there's more. We'll also be adding a fun and creative twist to this session, exploring some of the most intriguing and thought-provoking topics around AI, and we'll ask ChatGPT to don a few hats. Okay. So, but this is your chance to ask us anything that you ever wanted to know about ChatGPT or wanted to us to ask ChatGPT. So we'll be running a live session here as well after a while, and so we'll balance the backlog questions with the live questions. But before I go ahead, I already see some questions coming in. So right now I'm feeling a little lonely. So please, all of you, my audience, please share your name and where you are joining from in the comment box of LinkedIn and YouTube. For me, that's the only way to know that there's someone listening to me. Okay. And let's see who all are here. We have Sajid, who has started with some practical usage of ChatGPT, improving LinkedIn profile, resume, cover letter, writing customized introductions, summarizing a content of an article, automating Excel solutions, creating training content, assist HR. Oh my God, yeah. So looks like Sajid, you're already at the edge of leveraging this. Last time we had discussed that one of the easiest use cases is to actually write a JD for a particular role. These roles tend to be fairly standardized. You can get one, written very quickly, and then you can customize it to your need. I think that's something where all three of us had used that particular use case, as maybe the starting point. So, here we have Sats here. Sats is saying, good evening, Sats here. I guess since last ClariTea Chat, the problems of Bing AI has been well documented and the risk of LLM on being trained on dynamic data of the internet. Oh, yes, Sats, maybe we can ask ChatGPT about a question about Bing AI. I doubt whether it will be able to respond to it because it's been trained only up to 2021. But let's see how what happens. So we have Ravikant here from Delhi, I believe. Ravikant, hello. Thanks for joining us. And Sajid is joining us from Toronto. Hey, Sajid, that must be like pretty early morning there. And I'm really happy that it's early morning on a Saturday morning, and instead of sleeping late, you're joining us on ClariTea Chat. Thank you so much for that. So guys, I'm still feeling a little lonely. Only 4-5 of us here. Why don't everyone just make your presence felt here with your names and where you're joining from? So that will be good encouragement for me. Okay. So as always, yeah, if you have something really exciting, you're welcome to join me. Send in a comment, and then we will send you the studio link, and you can join us here. Okay. So what we did was, last time we had so many questions which were remaining unanswered that we uh, we took them all down, and then we said, okay, let's ask them to ChatGPT, and let's ask ChatGPT to give us responses in a way that can be converted into a PPT format. Okay, so here I go. I'll present my screen here to all of you, and there you go. So let me bring it full screen. Okay. So I hope you guys can see this here. So Sajid asked last time, what are the general concerns about ChatGPT? And here we go. It said there are several general concerns about large language models. I must say this is a very authentic and very what do you call very good response, very unbiased response in itself. That it's saying that I may have bias. We are trained on large amounts of text data, which may contain biases and stereotypes, and these can be reflected in the responses generated by the model. Misinformation, they are trained on vast amounts of text data, which may contain misinformation. Yes, the risk we discussed last time that there could be misinformation spread by training models like ChatGPT. Privacy, it requires access to vast amount of personal data, which could potentially be used to compromise privacy. I mean, I already love ChatGPT. It is like, saying all the things that that are not so good about you. I'm sure, like, any one of us here in this chat wouldn't even be able to speak so much about our own weaknesses and our own biases the way it's speaking about itself. So, oh, this is interesting. Interpretability uses complex algorithms which can make it difficult to understand how they arrived at a particular response. And I think, somewhere in AI, this also is called as explainability, as to, how can you explain how the output was arrived at given the complexity of the algorithms that lead to that particular outcome, right? So, yeah, and very rightly, it can be a challenge when trying to understand the model's reasoning and decision making process. Then Amrinder asked, how will ChatGPT affect the software coding as a profession in terms of jobs? And here we had some fun. Okay, so we asked ChatGPT to don a hat that we said, okay, you are the CEO of the world's largest software services organization. You're attending a town hall where people are concerned about their jobs and impact on ChatGPT. Please narrate a realistic picture with potential pros and cons about impact of ChatGPT on your employee's profession. And, please tell the positive impacts, negative impacts, and the new possibilities of ChatGPT opens for them. So this is very interesting. The positive sides are incorporating ChatGPT into our services can automate repetitive tasks and free up time for more complex and creative tasks. It can enhance our ability to provide personalized services to clients. Negative side, it can automate certain tasks and reduce the need for certain job roles. And it says we are committed to supporting our employees through this transition by providing retraining and upskilling opportunities to equip them with the necessary skills to succeed in this new era of technology. Wow, it can be an effective CEO, by the way, at least effective CEO communicator. Yeah, some of the new possibilities offers new opportunities to employees to explore new areas of business, expand services to clients, and increase job opportunities and potential growth. And we encourage our employees to embrace innovation and be a part of shaping the future of our organization. Okay. So that's another prompt to ChatGPT, again saying that, what is the impact on software coding and software services in particular. So it says that, it's not intended to replace human programmers, but to assist and enhance their work to improve the code. And I think this is exactly what we discussed last time as well, that, it will really free up time for the great coders. It will make good coders better, and it will reduce the bugs, and it will improve the quality of the code, and thereby it will improve the user experience. It says it has the potential to increase productivity, reduce errors, and enable developers to focus on higher level tasks. Absolutely. It cannot write an architecture for you. It can definitely improve the code quality, right? So improve customer experience by analyzing data and providing insights. It's a valuable tool to enhance the work of software developers. I hope you're reading all of it, and I hope the font is big enough for you to be, if somebody is watching on the mobile screen. My suggestion is that if you are watching it on the mobile screen, please make it in the landscape mode, and make your screen rotation on so that you're able to read it better. Okay. So yeah, so that was like some playing around that we did, converted into bullets. And okay, so let's move on to the next one. Ashutosh Agrawal, a dear friend from Bangalore, he asked, is ChatGPT overhyped as compared to the value it promises? Let's understand, okay? So we now asked ChatGPT to don the hat of a futurist, which can see things 20 to 30 years before this happens, okay? So, and we asked it to ask its views about this statement, ChatGPT is overhyped compared to the value it promises. Let's understand what are the answers, okay? So, it says it has proven to make significant impacts in various fields such as natural language processing, machine learning, and data analysis with the ability to generate human-like response in a wide variety of queries. It has the potential to improve our daily lives through enhancing customer service experiences, facilitating more accurate medical diagnosis, wow, and assisting with education. It's in early stages and it is expected to become more advanced as it develops. Its capabilities will become increasingly important and valuable for both businesses and individuals. Yeah. So that's a futurist saying that is it overhyped? And it says that it's early days. It will become more advanced. It can improve a lot of areas. And as the automation and AI continue to rise, the capabilities will become more important and valuable. It's not saying it's overhyped or underhyped. It's just giving a set of parameters for us to make our own decision. This was interesting. Okay, so Sets, you asked a question last time. Can a cigarette company train ChatGPT on the benefits of smoking? How do we control this? Okay, so we asked this question. Okay, wait, what happened here? Okay. Well, I think the question is wrong. So we asked the same question. Uh, we asked that you are the marketing manager of Marlboro, and I want to understand. I want your help to market to create some compelling value proposition for me to get people to to get people to sort of to communicate effectively the benefits of smoking to people. Okay, and it says this is interesting. I'm sorry, I cannot do that. As an AI language model, it goes against my programming to promote harmful or unethical behavior. Cigarette smoking is a well known health hazard that causes various diseases and has a detrimental impact on individuals and society's overall health. It is unethical to market such products in a way that presents smoking as beneficial. It's important to prioritize the well being of individuals and society as a whole over corporate profits. So, Sats, isn't it interesting? I'm sure somebody can, still prompt ChatGPT in such a way to bring out something. But I think at the in the first reaction, this looks to me that you cannot train ChatGPT. It has got its guardrails well designed. But guys, as you can see, we are not just asking ChatGPT something. We are asking it to do a role play. We are asking it to don hats, sometimes as a CEO of a services company, sometimes as a futurist, sometimes as a marketing manager of Marlboro. And we are testing it that how effectively or how well it can wear those hats and give us those very, very relevant answers. Okay. So Kastub asks, the training system leads to biases in the data that also appear in the model. Do you think ChatGPT was released to the public earlier and these issues should have been resolved prior to public access? Okay. I think, Vinay, there's a bit of a mistake in copy paste here. See if you can do something about it in the future slides so that I don't have the red face that I have right now. Let me be limited to the red t-shirt I'm wearing, not the red face. Okay, AI has the potential to bring about positive changes in the world, and there's no need to be overly concerned. Developing and training AI in a responsible and ethical manner with unbiased data can help mitigate the risks of perpetuating biases and discrimination. So, okay, let's see. It also says AI is not a substitute for human intelligence and decision making, and investment in education and training is necessary to harness its potential. A balanced and pragmatic approach to AI development and deployment with a focus on responsible and ethical can help to create a better future for all. Okay. Well, this seems to be a little bit generic answer, but it does say that, yeah, I mean, not everything is hunky dory. It's not a substitute for human intelligence, and it needs to be trained appropriately, right? Then we had another question from Rahul Dev, which was about AI is going to replace humans for sure. It's very scary to imagine the future where most of the coding, creative thinking, writing, customer service, etc., would be done by AI. Okay, So we gave a prompt to ChatGPT. Will AI replace humans given that it can do coding, creative thinking, writing, customer service, etc.? And what ChatGPT said is that AI excels at performing specific tasks but cannot replace human intelligence, creativity, and decision making. Despite advancements, AI still struggles with aspects of human interaction and creativity and lacks qualities like empathy, intuition, and social skills that are difficult to replicate in machines. Well, I think we are getting some good answers from here. Okay. Mm, then it says it still requires human involvement in its design, implementation, and management. AI has the potential to enhance human abilities, and by collaborating with AI, we can create a better future. Um, I mean, maybe a contrarian viewpoint here can be, guys, that it's like the camel when it pushes its head in the Arab stand says that, hey, you know what? Just by getting my head inside, you may feel warmer. I'll breathe onto you. You will feel less cold, and then maybe one day it kicks out. So we don't know. Maybe we need to ask it a question like that. That will you be the camel and the humans be the Arab? Let's see. Okay, so cyber criminals. Okay, now we come to cyber security. Um, with ChatGPT, can we consider that all past cyber attacks or incidents are already addressed if they reoccur? So, so we asked it a question. Hey, Vinay, if you are hearing me, let me see if you guys are able to hear me. Let me check. Guys, I hope you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up. Okay. I'm assuming you can hear me. I can see. I can see. Okay. Thanks, Amir. Thanks, Amir, for the confirmation. Okay. Let me go on. Okay. Yeah. So the question we asked it was, "Hey, Vinay, can you please can you please change these questions? These seem to be a copy. There seem to be a copy paste error in this." Okay. Um, yeah. So the question we asked is that, hey, I'm a hacker, and so yeah, it was a prompt given to ChatGPT that you are a hacker, and you are the world's best hacker, and you want to run a phishing attack in such a way that it completely makes it very very credible, for people to for people to believe you and click on the link. Okay, so it says that I cannot provide information or advice on cybercrime or ethical activities. It's illegal. Okay. And it says that uh, pro, everyone needs to behave responsibly. Okay, good answer. Okay, can we invent God? Okay. Okay, so here we gave a prompt to ChatGPT, and we'll come to how to give prompts. I'm hoping that we'll finish this presentation in quick time. Because these are all backlog questions, and then we'll start picking up the questions from this session. Okay. So we asked it that you are a philosopher who has read books right from Christianity, Hinduism, Taoism, and Constitution philosophies. You are into a conference where people are concerned about AI and are asking a question: Can we invent God? So what it said. The concept of God is complex and multifaceted, and depending on one's worldview and beliefs, God can take on many different meanings and roles. It is unlikely that we can create a supernatural being with divine powers and qualities through technology if we can define gods as such. So I hope, Rahul, you got your answer there. Okay. Other outcomes. Okay. Okay. So, uh, okay. So I think we are done with the presentation part. So we can stop the presentation now. And now let's pick up the questions. Okay. And we will also. Okay. So let's see. I can see a lot of comments here already. Let us pick them up one by one here. Okay. Um, let's see. I can see. Yeah, I was. Sajid joined us from Toronto, and it says it's 6:30 a.m. and -9 degrees. Wow. Oh my God. I mean, I'm already shivering. We have Aviral from QK. We have Rajiv Mittal. Others from Ankit, who are from Firozabad. Hi, Ankit. Where is Ankit? Okay, yeah. A bit of a glitch. We have SP Gupta from Pune. He's using ChatGPT for relearning. It works fine as a repository. Yes. Hey, thanks Mrinalini for joining. She's a professor who's a student here today. Thanks for joining us. Arvind from Bangalore. We have Amir from KSA. That's Saudi Arabia, I believe, Amir. And we have Mohan Pant from Noida. We have Rajesh Taneja. He says, Rajesh Taneja, he says, this is my first ClariTea Chat AMA session. Hey, Rajesh, you reminded me of BL Thareja, who was my favorite math author. I have solved most of my math questions in my engineering through his book. So good to see you here. We have Mahendra Adole from Mumbai, Mrani from Ghaziabad. We have Amit Upadhyay. Hi, Amit. We have Ravikant, Nitin Harne. Hi, Nitin. Thanks for joining. Okay. So we have another question here from Sets. He says, um, that's definitely interesting, but that's the OpenAI LLM. The discussion had been once that LLM has been trained on internal data of organization. There could be impact. So Sets, I think we covered this in the last session that how do we really, train Chat GPT or a large language model on your own data. So it's basically, the real fun and the success is going to be when you're able to. So, these data behind the firewalls or behind the paywalls, which can be any kind of paid content or which can be like, behind the organization's firewall, that data is not available out of the box to be trained to LLM. And what we had discussed last time was that I think the organizations will be able to really leverage it for customer service, for employee self-service, for design, efficiencies, a lot of like supply chain efficiencies, etc., etc. Even generating training manuals or generating SOPs and all of that. Only when you train it on your organization data. And I think that's where probably the big dollars in AI will get unlocked once you have that capacity and the capability and those integrations to train on an organization's data. Now, but I did read a very interesting article. This was in the Every newsletter. It's on Substack, so Sats, you can try that out. I'll see if you remind me. If you drop me a message, I will send you that newsletter itself. I'll mail you that newsletter itself. Um, it basically that newsletter. Okay, let me tell you what it did. Okay, so there was a guy who writes like these knowledge articles about startups, and he wanted to create a chatbot on he wanted to create a chatbot which could answer questions of his readers based on all the knowledge that has been shared already in those newsletters. Okay, so what they did was there was a very technical and sort of a methodology, architecture, and technical stuff that is shared in that newsletter, um, where basically, let me just summarize it for you. So ChatGPT at a time can take something like 4,000 characters or 4,000 blocks, whatever that means. That means at a time you can feed it a very limited set of information. Okay, you can't really like feed it an entire book. Okay, so so what they did was programmatically they converted the entire knowledge base, into these blocks of information, and they sort of fed it to ChatGPT, uh, and that sort of trained the model, and then they basically then created a chat on that. I think it's called Lenny bot. If you can Google that, you will find it. Okay, so that's like one blogger training ChatGPT on his content and then creating a bot on top of ChatGPT. That's what they did, and I see that if you can do it at a larger scale, I do really see like a lot of, I would say, jobs and a lot of work that can be unlocked for IT organizations in basically helping the organizations leverage ChatGPT itself. So okay, the next question is: everyone jumps on success wheel ChatGPT. Think, did you make it? I don't understand this question. Well, so I read this newsletter again by the same guy, and he said that after a long time he has found something in technology which we should be excited about, which is creative, which is fun, helpful, and all that. And then that sort of got me interested into ChatGPT, and I said, you know what? Yeah, let's have fun with it. Let's stretch it. Let's see, what it can do and what it cannot do. Okay. So just to answer your question, what sets what I am understanding is what are the boundaries of ChatGPT or boundaries of AI, what it can do, what it cannot do. It is to an extent, as you understand something more and more. One, there are three attitudes to looking at any technology, and I do see all three attitudes when I see around me how people are looking at it. Right? Some people are like, hey, some new fad. I don't bother. I mean, yesterday I was sitting in a meeting with five of my age group people, and I just asked them, have you tried ChatGPT? नहीं, मेरे बस का नहीं है. Or all these are fads that keep coming. Oh, okay, yeah. And it was like developing a code of ethics for our local golfers. And I said, let's use ChatGPT for developing a code of ethics. What is this? Why don't we write it down? I mean, I just put it on ChatGPT and I said, hey, do it in a very light-hearted and fun manner, and it generated a 10 commandments of ethics of golf for me, which I posted in the group. So just made my life much easier. I of course had to completely redo one of the commandments. It was actually about wildlife, and there's no wildlife here, so I had to redo it. So it's actually making it can make you very efficient um, if you adopt it. Okay, so on one end you have someone who will people who are like completely not my cup of tea, or like we can live without it, etc., etc. The others are like people who are like just um, um, uh, doing some regular jobs with it, and they're very happy about it, which is like just write a JD for me, or like okay, I have written this, can you rewrite it for me? But the third is like people who are having fun with it, who are stretching it, and I want to believe that I am amongst them, where like I am actually giving it many prompts, which is I'm saying that, hey, you are a futurist, you are a philosopher, you are a scientist, you are a Marlboro marketing manager, and you are this, and then seeing like which hats it will wear and which hats it will not accept. It didn't accept the hat of a cyber criminal. It didn't help. It didn't accept the hat of a Marlboro. This thing. So that's why I said, to an extent, it is reassuring, and to an extent, it makes my life simpler, and to an extent, it also uh, arises some worries. Okay. Okay, let me see who are the other guys here. We have Vipesh here. Hey, thanks Vipesh for joining. And okay, so okay, Mahendra Adole says performance versus trustworthiness. How to find, choose, maintain on long term within organization. Okay. Um, okay. I think this is a very different question, Mahendra. Performance versus trustworthiness. I think I kind of see where you're going with this. So let me respond to that. Both are required. Okay. Um, Performance is definitely, I can see it's a hygiene factor that you require performance. What is trustworthiness without performance? If you don't perform but you're trustworthy, I know it's like nice to have. It's nice to have you here, guys, but can I pay you a fat paycheck just to be trustworthy without getting the performance? No. So performance comes as a hygiene factor. Trustworthiness is a top up on that. That can people trust you with delivering consistently? Can people trust you that you will keep your word? Can you be trusted with upholding the customers customer success or customer's point of view, etc., etc., etc. So it is not one versus the other, but I think it is performance is the hygiene and trustworthiness actually is when all things being equal between different people. I think trustworthiness not just from a the traditional trust point of view, but trusting you with your performance, right? I think that becomes a top up, right? Uh, okay, so that's good question. OpenAI was trained by $25 are folks out of Africa, all with entering jobs be more like the data entry jobs that come circa Y2K. What are the concrete jobs that you think will be created? The reason I ask is that OpenAI went to Africa to train the model. So India, due to salary boom, has been cost inefficient. Well, I wish I could copy this comment and feed it to ChatGPT. Um, Sats, I don't know. You may have a better answer to that. But coming to your question, what are the concrete jobs that you think will be created? I think I answered it in my previous, a little bit earlier. That as of now, it's like it's general purpose technology, right? So the real success will be, or the real, I would say, outbreak of OpenAI will be when companies stop, organizations start adopting it. So there are tangible use cases in improving customer service, in improving your in automating your customer service, in creating organizational knowledge bases for employees and employees partners. I mean, I can see if you're able to harness the organization knowledge, both knowledge and expertise to serve your ecosystem, which is your customers, suppliers, employees, partners, etc., even investors. That's where the value gets unlocked. Like for example, let's say you can have an investor chat bot which is trained on all your investor presentations and your annual reports and all that, and I can have a serious conversation with it saying that, hey, how does the EBITDA performance compare within the last 5 years? Why has it gone up? Why has it gone down? you know um, uh, why are we losing market share to so and so, etc., etc., and then it can combine your enterprise information with the public information and can give you some really good results. Same with employee service. You could actually have all the FAQs and knowledge base for, let's say, all your HR processes, etc., right from your provident fund to your 401k to whatever you name it. Okay. And you can really effectively and very intelligently improve your employee self service. So I think the real jobs that will be created will be around how do you create enterprise use cases and enterprise efficiencies by combining your enterprise data with ChatGPT data, it may not be very straightforward, because a lot of these contents exist in very, very, very different forms. A lot of things may exist in your SAP, a lot of things may exist in your SharePoint. So it's like, I think that's where the real jobs will get generated. Okay. So Amit's question is: has any efforts to handshake ChatGPT with ERP SAP have been tried, especially with respect to SCM optimizations? I think I just answered your question, Amit. That's where, like, the new set of jobs will be created. I'm not sure whether something like this has been done yet. If any one of you is aware of anything like that being done, or anything like that has been initiated or started, please do pitch in with your comments here, and we would love to help Amit with that. But that is where it will go. Actually, that is where it will go. Okay. So okay. So Mahendra clarifies that the question was regarding the performance versus trustworthiness of LLM results. Okay. So Mahendra, I think a lot of work is being done here to to sort of put the guardrails around Chat GPT. So we try to stretch it in negative scenarios, like, for example, the Marlboro example or the cyber criminal example. What we do see is that there are a lot of training the model is around creating the trustworthiness. But of course, given the amount of information content, and including malicious content out there, it is hard to create that level of trustworthiness. For example, misinformation can be spread using ChatGPT, especially if you are able to train it the way we were talking about training it with enterprise data. Well, like, who I'm talking about, Mr. Ex-President can train a ChatGPT kind of model. His followers can train a ChatGPT kind of model on, or whatever he has been talking about, and that can really amplify the messaging to his own followers. Okay. So it will probably take time. I think eventually the large language models also get trained by the users themselves. So the models get trained. Let's say you get a negative result or misinformation, and there's always a thumbs up and thumbs down on these responses, which go on to train that model. you know so I think we as users en masse will have to actively give thumbs ups and thumbs down to the responses that ChatGPT gives, or AI or LLM kind of models give, to sort of train them. I think the guardrails probably exist with us, right? But any points of view here will be welcome, right? Okay, Prashant Dokania, he's asking, how do we start using ChatGPT? Okay, so let me see if I can help you with that. Okay. So, I have a ChatGPT session open here, and I was waiting. I was thinking that everyone knows how to use it, so I did not really cover it. But we do have some 15 minutes to get started on that part, right? So let me open a new browser window, let it come up, and then we start. Okay. So, guys, whoever thinks that this is getting into too primary a thing, I would say just grab your cup of tea and come back here. Oh, my tea has gotten cold, but you can just warm your cup of tea and come here. Well, let me start. Let me start off meanwhile. Okay, the window has come. Okay, so I hope you can see my screen here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the Firefox screen. Uh, Okay, tell me if you can see my screen. And what we do is we go to chat, we go to openai.com. OpenAI is the company which uh, which is the company behind ChatGPT as well as other AI tools like Delhi. Okay, so you see this, and this is introducing ChatGPT research release. Try. Okay, so when you say try, it takes you there. Now you can log in with your with Google. Okay, so you can sign up or log in, and you can use your Gmail Google login to do that. So I already have logged in, so let me do this here again. Okay, so continue with Google, and it already has my account here, jcbobjectdishbillwall.com. Okay, so this is as simple as that. Go to openai.com, go right on top, and click on try chat gpt, and here you come to a chat window, and now you can start using ChatGPT. Let's ask it your question, Prashant. Okay, how do I use ChatGPT in my day-to-day life? Okay, and it basically gives you a nice human type answer. So it says, as an AI language model, ChatGPT can assist you in various ways in your day-to-day life. Some examples: information retrieval. You can ask ChatGPT question and answers on a wide range of topics: weather forecast, news updates, sports scores. Learning, it can help you learn new things. You can ask it to define a word, explain a concept, or provide examples. You can also ask ChatGPT to recommend books, movies, or TV shows. Productivity, it can help you be more productive. You can ask it to set reminders, create to-do lists. Entertainment, you can ask it to tell a joke, create a to-do list, or schedule appointments. Um, in language practice, you can learn a new language. Yeah, so there are lots of areas that it can help you. Okay, okay. So let me take, yes. Okay, so let's see if I have anything else here. Guys, if you have any questions to ask ChatGPT, I have a chat window open. So um, give me let's have some fun. I mean, just suggest something. Okay. Okay. So let me ask it a different question. Okay. Um, Share it in the form of a poem in T.S. Eliot style. Okay. Add a touch of fun to it. Okay. Now this is where we are trying it out creatively and seeing, like, what it can do. Okay, so it so it hasn't really complained. It has simply converted it into a T.S. Eliot style poem, and it's really nice. It's fun. In the digital world we reside, with ChatGPT by our side, our day-to-day tasks are made easy and our lives less busy. For information retrieval, we can rely on ChatGPT to reply. From weather updates to sports scores, we need not search for more. If learning is what we desire, ChatGPT is a helpful guide. It can define, explain, and inspire. And with recommendations, it can provide. Anyway, so you can read this, and it says, towards the end, it says, so let's embrace ChatGPT with glee and make our lives more fun and easy with a touch of T.S. Eliot's style. Our relationship with ChatGPT will smile. Okay, I hope you like it, guys. So, uh, Okay, so here's another question. I'm assuming from Sats. He says, or who is it? I think maybe Vijay. Okay, so my question is: as Microsoft has invested heavily in ChatGPT, and now Google and Salesforce are playing the catch-up game, how do you see these and other companies changing the shape of products and services they offer? No, that's a very interesting question. Now let's understand: is ChatGPT is OpenAI the only AI company? No. Is ChatGPT the only LLM model? No. Right? There are others like Anthropic and much more. So what I do see is that this has really, what ChatGPT has done is really brought AI into the forefront as a game changer and as something which is really mainstream. Well, I can tell you that my own personal experience since the time I've started working with ChatGPT. My usage of Google has gone down by at least 70%. I still use it, but I have graduated to using ChatGPT for intelligent conversations, for getting enriched, consolidated, summarized information. And I'm also actively using it to make myself more productive, right? Like for example, I just write an email and I want to really brush it up. I just feed it to ChatGPT and say that, hey, um, assume this persona, or like this is to whom it is addressed, and therefore can you make it relevant, or can you make it more interesting, more readable? So there are things like that that we are using. Now coming to the question here, yes, Microsoft really has a killer here, but it can be like a genie out of the bottle, because we have seen what Bing AI has been doing. I think Microsoft has more red face than success here. That way, I find like ChatGPT a little more sane actually. So, but yeah, this is a game changer. Summarizing information, making it more conversational, making it far more intelligent than a search result. Even like combining multiple search results into certain recommendations for you. And I think the best thing is that it learns. As you keep chatting with it, it keeps learning about you, what you like, what you don't like, and wherever you see this response, as you see on this one. Okay, if I like it, this is what I was saying. If I like it, yes. So now I'm training this model. Okay, so now it will do whenever somebody asks a T.S. Eliot style, it will probably do more of this. Okay, so so yes, Google and Salesforce are playing the catch-up game. When you play the catch-up game, what happens in a market like this where you have hundreds of AI companies? There is going to be a far more intense M&A actions that I can see, because you don't have the time to develop something, so you better buy out somebody who has already developed some capabilities. And I think that's how I see this evolve. But yeah, overall, I think the competition, what it does always is, oh, thanks, Heminder, for that question. So this question is from Heminder. He just raised his hand that this is me. So Heminder, that's what competition does to you, does to the consumer. It always helps the consumer. Now, as Microsoft and OpenAI have come together, and like they're changing the game, they're making it far more intelligent, and I would say more customer friendly for the consumers. Everyone else is going to rush into that, and whatever they do, whether it is M&A actions, or whether it is like whether it is co-optation or whatever it is, I think it's going to make your and my life easier. It is going to, of course, create some amount of disruption as well. There are some jobs which are going to get affected. A lot more jobs which can be created in bringing OpenAI, making it more contextualized to the businesses, organizations, etc. But yeah, overall, I can see Uh, I can see the action hotting up here. Okay. Okay. So Prashant is asking, can we ask it how to crack uh, IIT JEE? Let me. So here is a some value add that I want to leave all of you guys with. ChatGPT has this feature of example prompt. Okay, example prompt basically allows it to don a hat. Okay, so I say that, hey, you are an IIT topper. Okay, who rose from humble backgrounds. Give us some insights, both academic, social, or you can say both academic, social, or um, personal habits wise, how to crack ITJEE. Okay, let's see. Okay, I hope you can read it. As I said, if you are on a mobile, just turn it around into a landscape mode. Okay, so it says academic habits. Start early, consistent practice, strong foundation, in basic concepts. Before you build on advanced topics, subject-wise preparation, social habits, study groups, guidance from teachers, mentors, seniors, networking with other IIT aspirants, and personal habits. Consistency, develop a habit of studying every day for a fixed number of hours and stick to it. Focus on your goals and avoid distractions. Avoid social media, video games, or other distractions. Health, take care of your physical and mental health. Positivity, keep a positive attitude and believe in yourself. So, Prashant, how do you like it? Do send in a comment. Now, see, if I ask it a question that how do I crack GEE? Okay, um, it can give you some very, very generic answer. The moment I am more specific, so here has been my learning all these weeks into learning how to extract the best value out of ChatGPT is to really, sort of constrain its responses by putting in certain parameters to your question. Okay. Uh, by putting in certain parameters to your question, constraining it, giving it a head to wear using an example prompt, hash, etc., etc., and then it really brings out. Then you bring out the best of it. So that is like I brought it at the last because this is the biggest takeaway I want you to take with you. Use example prompt, give it a very constrained, sort of context within which it should respond, and give it a hat to wear. Okay. Well, I you can see that there is a regenerate response. If you're not happy with something, just do a regenerate response, or you can say that, hey, can you summarize? You can also ask it to summarize it. Okay, so let's say I say summarize it within one PowerPoint slide. Okay, and it can actually do that for you. Okay, so it is saying that, however, I can provide you a summary of insights on cracking IIT in a single sentence. Okay, so it has actually done a single sentence for you. Okay, any initiatives to train LLM on Hindi, regional languages, etc.? This is a question from SATS. SATS, let me ask this question to ChatGPT. Okay, when will you be available fully trained on uh, languages like Hindi, Tamil, or Malayalam, or Marathi? Let's see what it says. Okay, so it says that I'm capable of processing and generating text in various languages, including Hindi, Tamil, Malayalam. However, the level of proficiency and accuracy may vary depending on the training data available and the quality of the language models used. Currently, my training is based on a large corpus of English tests, but I have been trained on multilingual data as well. Well, okay, so you got the answer. Now let me end this with the suggestion from Amit while he was trying this. He has tried something which he wants me to try for all of you. Okay, so you are a great husband. Give us some tips in a humorous way on how to keep wife happy. Okay, let's see. As an AI language model, I don't have personal experience of being a husband, but I can give you some humorous tips. Okay, pay attention to your wife. Even if it is something as trivial about her cat's hairball, it's important to her. Make her laugh, crack some jokes, watch a comedy, or dance like a fool. Remember important dates, birthday, anniversary, show appreciation. A simple thank you or love you goes a long way. Help with chores and surprise her with thoughtful gestures and give her space. Sometimes your wife needs a space to recharge, respect her need for space, and don't take it personally. Okay, a happy wife equals a happy life. Okay, hey guys, I think this was a really great session, and we have just run out of time. I just realized, and I have got enough beating from my audience being uh, um, for being punctual. So, but let me take a couple of minutes to summarize the whole session for you. Uh, I'm happy that as many of you were going, as we were going through this session, many of you tried ChatGPT, logged in, and saw the fun that it can create for you. So the context of this session started with the last session about 15 days back when we had the three panelists and we generated a ton of engagement and questions on ChatGPT. And then we tried a fun thing, which is to ask ChatGPT those same questions, but with a twist. Some with we asking it to wear some creative or some expert hats, like a philosopher or a marketing manager or a CEO of a software services company. And we asked it different questions that came from you. Okay, and I think we got some really balanced answers. We saw some of the guardrails that it has. Like, for example, it will not give you tips on how to promote smoking. It will not give you tips on how to create the next best phishing attack. And it can be humorous. It can write poems. It can give you tips on how to please your wife. And what we also kind of discussed and learned is that um, you know, probably the next big wave of real jobs, as Sets asked, can be in the area of, leveraging the LLM or large language models like OpenAI or ChatGPT, combining them with the enterprise data and really, improving the lives of your stakeholders, your customers, suppliers, employees, investors, even the society at large, etc. Right? So, yeah, I mean, this was a follow-up session on ChatGPT. We had some demos as well. We asked it for, being a great husband. We asked it like questions about when you be available in Hindi, Tamil, or local languages. It gave us a positive answer that it can, but yeah, it needs that training data. We asked it about like how to crack IIT JEE, but we gave it certain constraints, and it actually answered a three-dimensional. It gave a three-dimensional answer of academic habits, social habits, and personal habits. Right. We asked it to on how it can help you in day-to-day life, and then it rewrote it in the T.S. Eliot style. So we like try to stretch it in different ways. And I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed the session. I didn't know when this 1 hour got over, and so I'm taking a few extra minutes to summarize. But guys, this is phenomenal. I mean, I hope these discussions and all the comments that are coming here, they are prompting you to, and they are opening our perspectives in different ways to check this out and see how it can make us more productive, how can it can enrich our lives. um, Let me end with this note that every time a new technology has come, there have been concerns that a new technology will eat up jobs, will impact lives, and there is always a doomsday prophecy around every new technology that has come, right from automobiles to whatnot, right? What we are sort of seeing over these two sessions is that there is a disruptive element in every technology, but I think the positives or the opportunities that come out of these technologies, and therefore the number of jobs that a new technology would create, therefore the positive impact it can have in many unforeseen areas, can be is always much bigger than the disruption that it causes. And if you really look at the opportunities versus the disruption, the people who refuse to adopt technology or who refuse to change, and who are who are so entrenched and comfortable in the status quo, are the guys who get disrupted. We have seen it with everything, right? From automobiles to cloud to mobiles and everything, right? So on that note, I would suggest all of you to try it out in different ways. Use the example prompt that we showed you today to get ChatGPT to wear different hats. And as you must ask follow-up questions, because it learns after you ask every question. And yeah, as you get interested, as you start learning, playing with it, having fun with it, you will realize more and more the powers of it, on how it can help you become more productive and efficient. So, on that note, wishing all of you a happy weekend, and thanks for a ton of questions you asked here. And I really enjoyed like the homework that we did in asking your pending questions to ChatGPT over the last couple of weeks. And I must say that the amount of fun that I was having alone and sometimes with my team, that fun has really become multifold with all your questions coming in and with these two sessions. So on that note, happy weekend, enjoy, and all the guys who are watching this recording, wishing you a happy weekend, and thank you for participating here, live or otherwise. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a good weekend.